there's been these militias going around, and they'll come into a village, and they would just start shooting and killing and stealing everything they find and burning houses and bombing houses. And when they get done, the whole village is flattened, and they've taken the loot. There was a church meeting earlier this month. As they were meeting, militants came through, told all the people in the church to leave except for the pastor and his family. And so they left, and they heard some shouting and some shots, and they left the pastor and his family dead. I know he was a Muslim background believer. He was not a Bedouin. He had been in training for a while, and he was receiving help, Christian Aid mission. He was a very faithful, godly person that the leadership really trusted in, and they really saw a lot of him. One of the church members had emailed the ministry leader in Lebanon asking for help. 32 families there, believers, that are going to be probably killed if they don't get out of the country, and so they're seeking now to be able to get out of Syria and escape into Lebanon. Of course, in Lebanon, it's going to be a problem because you don't have housing for them and provide meals and all that. So it's not a simple situation for them. I think it is a targeting of Christians. I think that's one major motivation I think the media is overlooking. And so I think definitely there is a motivation there that I think they feel offended that you've got Christians on what should be Muslim territory, and so they don't like that. They want to cleanse the land, I guess you would say. I mean, obviously, when you have all the police and everything trying to protect the country, and they're not going to protect individual citizens, especially Christians, and so they're vulnerable to whatever comes along. And so quite often the best option they have is to escape. I know that Assad gave tax advantages to churches, gave free utilities, and he was kind. Of course, he was a minority, and he protected the Christians, and they didn't like that. I mean, the radical Sunnis don't like what he's done, and being willing to harbor Christians. And actually, I think Syria is one. I mean, they've had a lot of freedom for Christians compared with most other Muslim countries. You've got a powerful spiritual entity within Islam, and if God's Spirit could do something to totally change Saul and the Apostle Paul, then we need to pray the same kind of things will be happening to these deluded radicals within Islam, and that there'll be a day when millions and millions of Muslims will be trusting Jesus Christ, and that God's Spirit will do that kind of powerful work in their heart. You know, part of being a Christian is being persecuted. That's always been true. True believers are always persecuted. We are persecuted people, and but at the same time, it's good, I think, for us to stand up and protest when Christians are being persecuted. But also, there's a lot of things that we can do to help believers, whether they're fleeing to Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, wherever they're fleeing, is that there are all kinds of needs that these believers have, and they're getting help from other sources, but still, they really need to have the local Christians come alongside them and embrace them and help them to find a church family, help them find a home. But these people are truly suffering, and they have hearts just like we do. And so definitely we need to pray, and we can very definitely come alongside them and help them and meet their needs.